position. Oh! What a nail! As Jonathan Bostic just separated Mike Willie from the football.
All right, you already know what it is, Fourth Quarter Boy Sports. It is your man, the illustrious one, Professor Lake, in the building. And I'm just touching down with your fourth quarter boys and girls out there to talk a little bit about the Bears post-season. But before I get into it, you know what I do. It's Fourth Quarter Boy Sports. I'm the illustrious one, Professor Lake. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Chill. Be a fourth quarter boy for life. Hit that notification bell. Holla at your boy. We're going to jump right into it. So our season ends. They conduct exit interviews with the players, and a couple players do interviews with the Chicago media. You know, just letting the fans know that they're still dialed in, they're still ready to tackle more obstacles next season. And it just looks like these guys really are believing in themselves, and they're thinking that they can succeed in the 2019 season. So that's a good way to end the season, even though with the Cody Parkey doink kick is going to haunt us for a long time. I think the Bears players are ready to move on, and they were able to just breathe a little bit of life into the fan base after such a heartbreaking loss. Now, what a lot of players and fans also would see to be a heartbreaking loss was the Denver Broncos being able to steal our defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio. And at first, you know, it's painful to separate from a coach that's really able to pull things together. I mean, he didn't always have the type of talent that he had this season, but he had the guys working. You could tell that it was a tough defense. They played aggressively, and for the most part, Vic Fangio was coaching average players into above average and star players. Vic Fangio provided the scheme for the Chicago Bears players that a lot of defensive coordinators are running, some sort of a 3-4, 4-3 hybrid defense. And I think he put his players in situations that they could take advantage of. But all that being said, I'm not going to go too deep into Vic Fangio's game planning. You already know he was a great defensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears and other teams. He's definitely somebody that we're going to have to replace. It's going to be hard because he's one of the best in the business. So what's out there? What are we looking for? Well, shortly after that, the Chicago Bears hire Chuck Pagano. He's a former head coach and a defensive coordinator as well. He also spent time coaching with Vic Fangio in Baltimore. So in my opinion, I really think that he's cut from that cloth. Again, coaching Hall of Fame players, being a head coach goes a long way as far as being able to know what to provide and where he can assist the team in all areas. So I don't think Chuck Pagano will have a hard time managing such a talented defense. But with that being said, I really think Chuck Pagano is going to come into the Chicago Bears organization with aspirations to bring a defense that's already a #1 defense in the NFL and really make him a legendary defense in the history of the NFL. I'm looking at Chuck Pagano like he has the experience. He has coached legendary players and legendary defenses in the past. I think he'll be able to do the same here in Chicago. I like the hire. I think personality-wise, he'll be able to fit right in with the coaching staff, and he will be respected by the players. A lot of fans and analysts talked about the Ryan brothers being possible defensive coordinators for the Chicago Bears, and I just don't think that's the type of vibe, the type of personality that fits in the Chicago Bear locker room. I think that our defense and our offense are very humble guys. They're hard-working players, and they're not really the type of guys to jump into the spotlight, you know. So having one of the Ryan brothers be a defensive coordinator, I just think might be a little too much vibrancy, a little too much talk, and not enough answers on defense. And in my opinion, the Ryan brothers just lets me know that nepotism is a beautiful thing. And you know, just in regards to the coaching acumen, I just don't regard them as some of the best. That's just my opinion. But so I'm happy with the hire. Chuck Pagano is now the Chicago Bears defensive coordinator. Another topic out there that's attached to the Chicago Bears is the Matt Nagy, Kareem Hunt connection and Chicago's thirst as fans to succeed and get further in the playoffs than they did this season. So, you know, these are just things that are out in the air. What's my opinion? So next season, we end up with Kareem Hunt. How do I feel about it? To be honest with you, from a football perspective, it's just not a necessary move. But if you could do it, hey, I could see how he could be utilized. I can see how he'll be able to open up the offense a little bit more than a Jordan Howard. I understand that. But this is also the type of player that you could find in the draft and may not carry the same type of baggage as a Kareem Hunt. That's where I'm at with it. If we get him, I'm okay with it. If we don't, I'm not going to feel any sort of way about it. I'm not going to feel like we lost out on getting a cheaper running back for the Chicago Bears. We already got 2 cheap running backs right now in Tariq Cohen and Jordan Howard. Just adding another running back just seems like an unnecessary roster spot taken up by a guy that needs a second chance. But if we get him, I'm not mad at it. I just hope that they do other things in addition to adding Kareem Hunt to the offensive side of the ball as far as improving the team for the 2018 season. All right. Lastly, I got to close this out and, touch on the Cody Parkey Today Show incident. I really didn't want to see any more of Cody Parkey, and seeing him on the Today Show just kind of bothered me. And what bothered me even more was the one comment that he made towards the end of the interview, stating something to the effect of, "I'm not a football player. Football is something that I do." And, maybe you could feel like that as a kicker, but it makes me want to say that's probably why you missed 11 kicks this season. Understanding the type of responsibility you have on your shoulders, Cody Parkey, is probably the reason you didn't tune up your aim when kicking field goals and extra points. And that's just being honest, because people are going to talk crazy about you. There are going to be memes out there about you. There's going to be a whole lot of stuff out here about Cody Parkey making fun of what you did in that playoff game. But here's what I'll say to that. You go tell Akeem Hicks he's not a football player. Go say that to Mitchell Trubisky. Go tell Coach Nagy, I am not a football player. And see how far that goes with them. Go tell Eddie Jackson that he's not a football player. He would have loved to play in that playoff game. You know what I mean? So watch your mouth, Cody. We were gracious enough not to crap on you, as a fan base. It could have been worse. Your teammates were gracious enough not to even talk about the kick. They held you up. They supported you. And, the nerve that you have to go on the Today Show and make a statement like that. I mean, it bothers me, but it doesn't bother me. Maybe because I'm not a football player anymore. But I could only imagine what some of the players in the locker room think about what you said. Of course you're not a football player. Of course you're not. And to all the kickers out there that are clutch, I'm sorry that Cody Parkey has minimized your role on a football team, because that's what people have been saying for years. You're a kicker. You're not a football player. And Cody Parkey just confirmed that. So it's not my fault. So with that in mind, leave your comments in the comment section. A lot of guys out here defending Cody Parkey for what? I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. I didn't want to see him ever again unless he was in another uniform. Anyways, it's Fourth Quarter Boy Sports. It's me, the illustrious one, in all my glory. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Chill. Be a Fourth Quarter Boy for life. Hit the notification bell. Holla at your boy. I'm out.
And this is, what a nail! As Jonathan Bostic gets separated, Mike Willie from the football.